Welcome to the Draft Board Hockey Show, episode 13. I'm Mark and my boy Linc from New Wave Hockey. What's going on, buddy?
Not much. We're having a good time here. St. Patty's Day was this weekend. Actually, we're recording now on March 20th, which is another special holiday in my heart. It's Trevor Zegras' birthday, 4th birthday.
Man crush on Zegras, eh?
We could say that. Oh no, but it's a great day here in Copenhagen. Finally back here above sub 40 temperatures, so we're doing good.
Nice. Yeah, St. Patty's Day was funny. One of my buddies called me on Saturday. He's like, "Hey, what are you doing on Monday?" I was like, "Working." He's like, "Oh, St. Patty's Day." I was like, "Oh, I ain't going."
That's what we all said. I'm kidding. No, I stayed in. I didn't go out for that long for St. Patrick's Day. Again, there was a Guinness shortage anywhere, so there was all the fun out of it. So
Really, eh?
exactly. Yeah,
Oh,
it's been crazy. It was like Europe-wide Guinness shortage. So
what?
Anyway,
Come
back
on,
to hockey.
That's craziness. All right. So yeah, today's episode, before we get started, just letting you know, we're talking about Jake O'Brien from the Brantford Bulldogs. He is been climbing the rankings this year, has just been putting on a clinic. We'll show you all that stuff in a second. But yeah, another player that has come back out of injury. We talked about it a little bit last week, and that was Roger McQueen. Roger McQueen is back, and he's getting his sea legs back. He looked a little bit better the last couple games. And yeah, so let's talk about Roger McQueen. I think is he still a top 10 in your books there, Linc?
I'd say absolutely. Roger McQueen has come back, and he's kind of shown me what I've needed to see to show me that he still has the potential left inside of him. Injuries aside, again, we can talk all about, is it worth it taking an injury-prone player that high in the draft? I absolutely think it does warrant that, given his last 3 games. I think he's looked really solid. Again, you have to factor in he's kind of the only offense, along with Jordan Gavin, on that Brandon squad. And again, he's struggling a little bit, like kind of getting back. And again, even though he's struggling, he's had 5 points in his last 3 games at this point. I guess last night he didn't have any points, but he had a 3-point night and a 2-point night, and he's still above points per game. He is still making that progress he needs to make. In my mind, in terms of what he brings and what I can see him do, taking over the ice and becoming that offensive threat, he's still a top 10 pick in my eyes, and it's just a shame that his whole season got wiped out this year. I mean, it's just absolutely tragic. But again, I think he's showing everyone now what he would have been showing everyone throughout the entire season.
Yeah, I think, what, like you said, he started off on fire, and then the injury and, missing 4 months of hockey and coming back. He was a little slow on the comeback, but starting to show, like I said, driving that middle lane there is, you like to see that in a young player, and he does that, and he's not scared to break into the middle there and hitting those dirty areas. So yeah, it was good to see him. I think he was getting his confidence back the last couple of games. I still think he's a top 10 too. I really like him. Like I think I have him firmly in my top 7, top 8. So actually in the talking about forwards that kind of are hitting their stride, Anton Frondell, not last game but the game before, won the OT, got the OT winner for your Gardens, and he was looking good that game. Had an assist and a goal, the OT winner. You know what? A lot of people talking about Frondell, and I have him, higher up in the rankings. And in my mock, I put him 4th overall. So I like his. You know what? I'm seeing shades of Leo Carlson. You know what?
Boy.
I'm shades of Leo Carlson a little bit.
I think that comparison's a little bit dangerous. I love Leo Carlson. I really loved him in his draft year. I really don't think the skating is there to compare him to Leo Carlson, but I won't be sheepish. I will say Anton Frondell, he's climbing his way up. I'm not going to give any hints. I have my own list coming out. All right. People will see what I've decided to give him, but don't be surprised if he's moved significantly up on the list. He's looked pretty good. Again, I have my own questions about what his viability at center and whether or not he's going to be a top line player. But regardless, he is showing incredible strides. He is playing, I guess, arguably the best or second best hockey out of any prospect right now, probably second to Michael Misa, if we're being real. He's been incredible. So again, down the stretch, he's really played hard when it matters, and I really respect it.
So okay, we talk about like those strides that he took. he is another '07 draft eligible player. Carlson was a year older. He was one of those older draft choices. So he still has Anton Frandel still has a year to kind of develop. And I think that you can see that he's still a little weak. Once he gets a little stronger, I think he's got to work on his skating a little bit, like you said. But the offensive awareness and he's a shooter. He's more of a shooter too. He's got a great shot.
Absolutely.
But yeah, you know what? Like I said, he's doing all the right things, and they're playing him, pretty big minutes in the playoffs, and that's a pretty impressive thing for a draft eligible player. I mean, you look at Victor Eklund, man. I watch him and the way he buzzes around the ice. Now the thing with Anton Frandel is he a line driver? That's the question, right? Because but you know what? He's a good complementary piece on a line. If you got like I said, him and Frandel work great together. Like honestly, like the way that Anton Frandel and Victor Eklund is just buzzing around, like that kid. Oh my God, his motor.
It's
every time I watch
really
it, like when you're watching clips of Frandel, you see Eklund just buzzing around. You're like, oh my God, this kid is just unreal.
Absolutely, I completely agree with that. Looking at Victor Eklund again, we're talking about this so much. Again, I have been on and on and on about how awesome this kid's motor is, and I love the pairing they've had. An incredible wing in Victor Eklund with Anton Frandel. That really just shows how great of a player he can be at supporting other star players, which again, that is what you're looking for in a weaker draft such as this. And now I'm kind of considering who I want the Flyers to take and pair with the man behind me, Matthew Michkov. And I'm thinking about Porter Martone, who I was really high on all year. And I'm thinking about Anton Frandel. And I'm sort of leaning Frandel, but look at me. Hold on. Doesn't mean I'm putting him above Martone just yet. We'll see. No spoilers. But Michkov and Frandel would look really good together. That's all I have to take away from that.
Yeah, that'd be pretty sweet pairing for the Flyers. Then the Flyers, they're creeping up. They're creeping up in the rankings right now. We got an episode. We got a mock episode coming up in a bit with a bunch of people. It's going to be a banger of a show. So
keep losing.
We're gonna talk about that. Keep losing, absolutely.
Keep starting Fedotov.
Misa sweepstakes. Come on.
I need Michael Misa. I need James Higgins, or I need Anton Frandel. I keep losing. Keep starting Fedotov. Keep doing it. Okay.
That's unreal. Okay, so now we're going to talk about our next player that we have on our list of 2025 draft eligible players, Jake O'Brien from the Brantford Bulldogs. Yeah, you know what? Last year he led the OHL U17 assists. I think it was like 49. Misa had like 47 or something like that. So, last year he was already showing that he had that offensive touch. And this year, like, come on, the points. Check this out: 97 points in 65 games, 65 assist a game, 6'2", 170. So he's a little slight. However, the kid is just a magician with the puck on his stick. Hockey IQ out to wazoo. He's a great player. Now, the one concern, and I've been reading about this and checked out his stats, is that he is power play reliant. He's got more points on the power play than he does 5v5. So people are concerned about that. I don't know if that's necessarily a detriment. Like I said, he's still kind of slight. He's got to work a little bit on his skating. His skating has improved since last year, but he still has a little bit of a short stride. But little things like that. He's got to grow into his body. But man, this kid, like in terms of playmaking, he sees the ice really well. I'm gonna let me throw up a clip right now. Just want to show you something real quick. This is him. He just walked into the zone there, number 44.
Come on.
Any other player could have shot that. Like he was in shoot, like right here. He gets it right here. He could have shot that, but nope. Just freezes the goalie. Easy open net. Yeah, he's just got he's got that offensive flair. You'll see it from the top here. Like he's right in the hash marks there. He could have just wired it. Nope, pass it. See how the goalie was frozen right there? So that's what he does. He just sees the ice really well. He's pass first, shoot second. But I mean, yeah, he does all. Let me show you one more just to kind of. So here's another. Look at this little touch through the legs and then passes it off again. Come on, Jake O'Brien. Let's see it up close here. Through the legs. Look, he's not even looking. Blind pass. Knows exactly where his teammate is. I mean, when you got Nick Lardis on your team who scores 70 goals, that's not a bad thing too. but
Well, he's not
can
playing with
see
Nick
the
Lardis
ice. The
usually. He
hockey
usually
IQ.
plays with Van Acker, right?
Yeah. And well, you got Lardis on the PP too, though, right? So I mean,
Yeah. Oh, that. Yeah. There you go.
that team is but he sees the ice well. So what your thoughts on Jake O'Brien? Sorry, I was just gushing about Jake there for a bit.
Well, it's not going to stop. I'm about to gush about him too. I'm a huge Jake O'Brien fan. Oh my goodness. I got to say, he's one of those players where I love when a player stands out on tape when I'm supposed to be watching somebody else on that tape. And that was the case for Jake O'Brien last year when I was watching a lot of Merrick Van Acker tape. Merrick Van Acker scored like what? He scored a ton of points last year, like 80, right? And a lot of them were fed by Mr. Jake O'Brien because he is an excellent passer. He sees the ice very, very well. Kind of your prototypical center down the middle. This guy, he does faceoffs well. He works off the puck really well, but when with the puck, he's a very smart pass first kind of player. Sometimes you want him to shoot more. There are some times on the tape where I'm like, oh my gosh, why did you not shoot there? It's a little, but look, he's getting better. He's getting better at the skating. He's getting better at the shot. I would even say for skating, it was kind of a little bit of a concern earlier in the year, but now, like, despite its speed being low, I still think he is a great player in terms of he's a pretty great mover. I wouldn't say skater, but like he moves really well. He knows how to position himself really, really well. And again, Jake O'Brien, he's just one of those guys that stands out for me. It's just like I watch tape and he's there. I'm like, oh my gosh.
What he lacks in skating, he makes up with his hockey IQ because he just knows where to be on the ice. And here's another play with the hands. Watch this. He's right here. Look at this little. Oh, he's got guys all over him, and he still manages to kind of rip a goal through there. Like a nice little touch through the legs of the goalie here. You'll see right here. He picks up the puck. He's got guys all over him, and he still manages to put it 5-hole. So yeah, he like I said, once he gets a little bit stronger, like watch out. Like Jake O'Brien is going to be like next year. More likely than not, he's going to come back to the OHL next year, and like if he gets stronger, works on the skating, and shoots more, oh, he's going to be in the Misa territory. Watch this goal right here with the hands. Watch this. Whoop.
Oh, my goodness.
See, there's no options to pass there, right? So he has to shoot, but he wires it top shelf. Like this is at the beginning of the season, but look, just whoop. Oh, nice.
That's
so I
just
think
beautiful.
that we're going to see another step next year with Jake O'Brien when he because like I said, that hockey IQ is already there, and I think next year when he gets a little bit stronger, because right now like 5v5 he gets a little bit boxed in and he can't kind of muscle his way out of situations sometimes along the wall and stuff like that. But I think next year if he bulks up and he gets a little bit stronger in the skating, he's going to be hard to move off that puck, and you're going to see the 5v5 numbers move up next year for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've kind of seen, like, I know O'Brien's a center and the guy I'm about to say is a winger, but I've seen like a kind of a Beckett Seneca level rise out of Jake O'Brien this year. And we haven't even reached the playoffs yet. He's the way that he's playing right now. Oh my gosh. The way that he's playing right now, the way that he's grown, the way that he has just improved every part of his game and gotten bigger and stronger and more confident just shows to me that this guy is really, really on some sort of path. He is going to be a special player, and something that you like a lot. Guess when he is? Guess when he turns 18? Not until June. So this guy, he checks all the boxes. He is a big runway for development. I have him just around like the top of my top 10. He's slowly moving forward. He's making it a tough decision. The top 10 is really like now a tough decision. And like 10 through 5, it's got gauntlet. And I could see Jake O'Brien climbing into that discussion for some team like later on. Like he is just really showing off that offensive prowess that teams love to ooze over, like, or like ogle or like whatever other adjective you got. This guy, yeah, I really do like Jake O'Brien. He's climbing into that territory for me. He's really making it a tough decision between a lot of the forwards ahead of him.
Yeah, you know what? I think that, like you said, I one more year and being that young birth date and stuff like that, I think that we got to see that development, that progression. And it's all about progression, right? As long as a player, kind of grows, in terms of hockey and strength and stuff like that. I'm excited. This is the nice thing about these drafts is that, you kind of anticipate things. And like I said, Anton Frondell falls in that plane too. I think that, right now he's playing with men. Anytime he's played with his peers, he's been pretty dominant. The U19s, the U18s. And we get to see these players, at the U18s coming up. It's been a delight to watch him. I'm hoping to catch a couple playoff games with, Brantford and stuff like that, and Saginaw, like all these teams that have these high prospects. Playoff time is great hockey. That's when you really see it, if they can handle the next level of pace, I guess you could say. So yeah, but Jake O'Brien, he's I'm liking his game a lot.
I think it's safe to say that too. I mean, look, you're afforded a luxury where, like, again, you're really close to all of these teams in Ontario. While I'm here, low-key priced out of all the Swedish games, which is crazy. But no, everything's been it's been good to watch. Again, I've been able to catch some Swedish TV. Don't report me. Some Swedish hockey, which has been great. So, but yeah, I'm really excited to see more of Anton Frondell and everything, and Jake O'Brien for that matter. So,
yes,
again, it's all coming down. March Madness may be happening today, but look, I'm more excited for all the playoffs in every single league. That's my own March Madness right now. I'm really excited for all of that because then so many prospects you have to watch.
Absolutely. All right, so let's move on to follower questions. You got the
Yeah, so our first of the follower questions here was from El Camo 11, Flyers fan, and I want the Flyers to take a center with their first pick and then trade up for Lyndon Lakovic, and they would potentially have a 2-player to play with Michkov on that top line. What say you? I don't think Lyndon Lakovic is a person you should be trading up a lot of draft capital for. I guess I have a couple of other ideas for picks. And B, I don't think he's going to be a top line player, kind of for that. But we're getting closer and closer to Hagens, Misa, Frondell. I'll take any of the three willingly. Oh my gosh, if we got Hagens, if we got Misa, that would send me. I would.
Okay, so let me ask you a question: would you take Misa or Hagens? Who out of those two? If the Flyers had the luxury of drafting either Misa or Hagens, who would you go with?
Well, I'm taking Misa, and I think it's not really. I say that without recompense because I think Misa has a better ability to score, and I think Michkov has proven his ability as like kind of a do-it-all player. And having a player like Misa, who is also similarly a do-it-all player, just running that top line, I really think that's just a mutually beneficial player connection. James Hagens, he's a lot of distributing, he's a lot of high talent, and I think the Flyers would be incredible with him. Oh my gosh, he would elevate the play of players like Owen Tippett and Travis Konechny and Tyson Forrester. If we want a good winger around that, like, I guess 25 to 17 range, which is probably a good range to trade up into. If Bill Zonin is still there,
big Billy Z,
I'm taking Billy Z. The puck bunker guys we're all over him, and I was like, I don't know if you remember, I was distraught when they took him. But Billy Z in Philly would be huge. I would love it. So that's I think that would be, in my opinion.
Well, you know what? He might fall into that range of the Flyers' second first round pick. There, he might fall into that range.
I think he's personally rising a little bit because, again, he's showing a lot in terms of like playmaking at Roy and Aranda. But if he does fall, I'm gonna personally call Danny Briere and say, hey, he's dead. It's my boy. Take him.
Let's go. So, Billy Z's on the docket. All right, next question.
All right, so our second question here from DHman02. I don't hear a lot of people talk about Henry Brustevich. Is he a good second round pick? What's your opinion on him? And for your second question, we're actually in the process of talking about that, so don't you worry. Anyway,
we're doing a mock coming up for the first round with a bunch of other guests. So that answers the second part of the question. The first part, so Henry Brustevich. So you know what? I got to see him a little bit playing in London there, and he's hidden behind the team, the D there. You got Dickinson, and but let me tell you something. That is a good D, and I could see him potentially rising into the end of the first round, potentially, because when part of the team was gone to the World Juniors, he stepped up and he looked pretty good actually. And he's a big kid, 6'2", can skate. His offensive upside is questionable. But I mean, if you look at this draft in terms of its depth of players, especially late first, I think that there's players that can kind of jump in and out of that range, and I think that he could potentially be one of those guys that could potentially land in a late first. So yeah, that's my take on Brustevich.
I mean, I kind of agree with you. I would say I'm a little bit lower on him. I think he is somebody that is firmly entrenched as a day two guy. Maybe someone takes it. I mean, with this draft, it's unpredictable. Like people are going to be reaching for their guys probably at pick 24 or 25. But in my opinion, I think he's someone around the 40s. That is not a complete damnation though, because I still think that he has a pretty solid ceiling. I wouldn't classify him as someone over a second pairing. That's if everything goes right. Like you said, again, like the offensive upside, a little shaky, a little questionable. He's a bigger guy. He's a right shot D, I think, right? Yeah, he's a right shot D. Correct me if I'm wrong. Go roast me in the comments if I'm wrong. But I think I would say a good, really high ceiling to look at is like a Cody Ceci, and I'm going to get some backlash for this because again, Cody Ceci isn't given the best reputation, but he's a very solid two-way defenseman on a third or second pairing when playing his role. That's someone that you can consistently rely on for many, many years. And I think Henry Brustevich, if again everything goes right, he can be a very solid fit on a pretty solid team as a second or third pairing. He's not someone I would classify as a first rounder, but he's someone that I could totally see being a solid second round pick with a really, I would say more modest, but honestly very solid upside.
Yeah, I like that. All right, next question.
All right, so another one, a really good question. I love this one from 2000, Lex Talionis. If I got that wrong, apologies. But which prospects do you feel are most hampered by poor skating techniques? I need to think about this one for like 3 seconds. But
I can fire off one right now.
Yeah, you start number one. I have
Cole
three
Reshny.
kind of in mind. Yeah. Oh God.
Cole Reshny might probably, like, in terms of we're talking, if you're talking first round talent ish, second round, because there's obviously when you get deeper into the draft, the skating is going to be kind of some of the prospects are going to have suspect. But in terms of like talent, Cole Reshny's got great talent, but his skating is not there yet.
Yeah, it's a bit iffy. It's something that's held me back a little bit. I still think Cole is an animal. I really love him, and he's someone who's going to obviously stay in the first round for me. I don't care what anyone else says.
Yeah.
But I guess he's one. Another one that I think we've kind of danced around the bush with is Carter Bear. I think his skating has a lot of limitations. That's something that's one of the main reasons why I haven't been as high on him as other people. Like it's one of the things that I think really hurts him in transition, even though he has become a better transition player through the year. It hasn't been because of skating.
But now he's got that Achilles injury, so that's gonna affect his skating overall, right?
Yeah,
players don't typically bounce back too well with cut Achilles. So
no, that is very, very true. I'm trying to think of somebody else, a good example. I would say, is it wrong to say Shane Van Saggy from out of Michigan State? I think
I think Van Saggy's not a bad skater, actually.
No, he's not a bad skater, but the thing is, I see he's got to correct a lot. For me, he's not getting enough power and speed in his stride when I see it. That's something that I've always just kind of put down in my notes. Again, he gets good lateral movement, but again, he is missing so much potential in my opinion because he's a big dude. He is a big guy, and he can be a freight train, I think.
Go ahead. The next question here, Linc.
Just from James Coogan 4167. Just curious if you guys think any of these top draft picks will play in the NHL next year. I've talked about this once. I only think there are two.
I think we talked about it. We talked about it before.
Yeah, and I'm still going to stick with my two because I think that those two really do have the best shot at playing in the NHL next year, and that's Matthew Schaefer and Michael Misa. If you want to talk about 1 year out, I can give you a whole host of theories that include James Hagen's, Portland Martone.
We got to go with the question here, Linc. You can't be making a question. So my contention is there's only one, Misa. He's the only guy that I think can make the job.
Not Schaefer.
No, I think Schaefer still, he's still. I think that
I think
still
he
needs
can make camp.
the defensemen take a little bit longer to develop in terms of reaching that NHL level caliber of play. I think that, I mean, especially he's got injuries. He's still kind of slight, like I said. He's a little bit on the smaller side too. I think one more year of playing World Juniors, playing the O, developing. I mean, he'll probably be dominant, but I mean, Zane Parekh went back.
Yeah, but Zane Parekh was always going to go back. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
but I mean,
I
okay.
don't
So
know.
what about
Yeah.
Yakimchuk went back? Dickinson went back.
But here's the thing: Yakimchuk almost made camp. I
did.
actually thought there was a time where I totally thought Yakimchuk was gonna make the Senators. And again, like this year, they're doing really well. Like in spite of not having it. Imagine that team with a guy like Matthew Tkachuk. I almost said Matthew Tkachuk because he's Matthew Tkachuk on defense. Imagine that team with Carter Yakimchuk. Oh my lord! Yeah. But he's gonna be playing next year. But Misa, no doubt. In terms of what he's doing, I don't think he would benefit from any just any experience that's not in the NHL.
For 3 years now too.
And there were rumors that he was going to go to Boston University after or during this year, which I'm like, that's ridiculous. Like, I get it. Like, we talked about Macklin Celebrini potentially going back for development reasons because the Sharks have been bad this year, but he's been good in spite of the Sharks being bad this year. I think it can only hurt Misa's case if he goes back and plays in any other league that's not in the NHL. He's had his dominant season. His confidence up here, it's off the chart, literally out of the screen, off the charts. It's incredible. And I think looking at Matthew Schaefer, yes, you make a great point with, like, again, he's slight, he needs to bulk up. Though, what I will say is he's going to definitely be in those final cuts to make camp. He's going to be in a little bit of a Yakimchuk situation, and I think he makes the camp. I think he'll make camp. I do.
Well, he might play. He might do 10 games. The 10
he might do the
nine
game. He might do 9 games, and I do believe that. And I think that's fine. That's great. I think that's what he deserves. We may disagree because I totally think he could, like, depending on the team that drafts him, like if he goes to Chicago or San Jose, like, whoo, that's gonna be a tough defensive environment to be in. But I think he's gonna be fine. I really do. Because he's shown us what he's shown us what he's capable of when he plays against, again, the best competition that he can play against. Like in the World Juniors, he dominated. He was the best player on the Canadian team. It wasn't even close. Again, he only played 1 in 4 minutes of a game. But I really, again, dominant. I still think that he's going to be dominant. Not as dominant, but a very solid player who might need to round some defensive aspects of his game in the NHL level. But I do think he'll make the NHL next year. I thought the same. I thought the same for Hagens. I thought that he was, for a long time, I thought Hagens was going to be an NHL player next year. But again, he's still developing, and he's still showing, like, again, he's got a bit of a road to climb. But then again, so did Logan Cooley. So that's all I'll say.
Okay, and that's it for the follower questions. Get some questions in there, people. Let's go. We need some questions.
We need some questions. Hey, I think you guys really killed it with this one. I will say,
good one.
This is a really good one. Again, I liked a lot of the player suggestions. We got some good ones that I don't know if we're going to get to because some of these guys are a little bit further down on, I think, yours and my list, like Kurban Limitov. I don't know where you have him. I have him. Malcolm Spence, someone we'll probably get to. I like the Blake Fiddler comparisons. He's someone that we might even do, like, next podcast. We'll see. But yeah. We'll see. I don't know. I'll throw it out there to you.
We can talk. We got to figure that out still. We got to figure that out.
We'll figure it out. But yeah, again, pour those questions in there. We love, again, hearing from everybody.
It was unreal. Really good.
It's really good
amount of questions this last episode. So we want more. We appreciate it. It's awesome. And that is it for today, Linker. Always a good show, my friend. Enjoy your time in Europe, and we will be back next week. And then the week after, we got the big mock draft coming up. That's going to be a lot of fun. So that's it for today, and we'll see you soon. Cheers.